Hey y'all, Zach McDonald, your real estate agent here with Real Property Associates. And I want to talk with you today about some strategies on getting your offer accepted prior to a seller's offer review date. Now, in the Seattle real estate market, and this might be different in your market, sellers are typically waiting a week until they review offers. Their hope is that buyers will come see the house, they will do their due diligence up front, maybe do an inspection, get all their financing in order, and then make an offer that is competitive with the other offers. Their hope is to have some kind of a bidding war or bidding frenzy, so sometimes they'll even price the house a little lower to incite that more silent auction style process. Now, as a buyer, this is a tough, stressful process to partake in for a few different reasons. Number one, you fall in love with a house potentially and you don't get it. And number two, well, you're having to compete with everybody else, and that's not really fun when you want to get the house. So I want to share some strategies that will help you potentially entice a seller to act early or take your offer early. Now, the terminology I like to use is you need to make an exceptional offer. That's going to be exceptional in a few different categories. First of all, exceptional on price, and then secondly, exceptional on terms. The first thing to note before I even jump into that is that in the state of Washington, real estate agents are obligated to present all offers to the seller, and that includes offers that are made before offer review dates and also expire before offer review dates. So if you said Friday is my offer review date and I make you an offer on Wednesday that expires at 12 a.m., you are obligated to, as a listing agent, or to present that offer to the seller. So buyers, you need to know this because that's a key important piece of information that if your real estate agent doesn't know, they should. So making a compelling offer. First of all, you need to be compelling on the price. You got to put yourself in the seller's shoes. If you're a seller and somebody brings you an offer that's full price and you're like, I want to do an inspection afterwards, is that going to be really compelling? Now, some markets, maybe that is. If you get an offer in the first week, great. But in Seattle, you're probably going to get multiple offers. The majority of people do. And so getting a full price offer right away isn't necessarily a sign that you should take it. It's almost a sign that you should wait and see what happens. Most of the time, homes are selling between 10 to 15% above the asking price. So if you're a buyer and you make an offer out of the gate at 15% over the asking price or 10% over the asking price, that's going to be more compelling to a seller. The other piece, and this one is equally important, especially on an early offer, is your compelling terms. That's going to include earnest money amount. How much earnest money are you giving the seller? Are you giving them a strong amount, maybe 5%? Typically 2 to 3% is a good amount. Maybe you're giving them even more. I wouldn't give them less. The other pieces to consider are the inspection. If you have an inspection contingency, that's how my clients typically feel about it. They want to know for sure that you're going to be buying this house. So they don't want you to have opportunities to back out. If you want a 10-day inspection period to inspect the house and maybe negotiate more with them afterwards, no thanks, they'll wait. And same with financing. If you come in and you say, well, I want to have a financing contingency, and if the appraisal comes in low, I want to be able to negotiate again on the price. No thanks. That's typically what I'm seeing. So with those terms, you're going to need a strong earnest money amount. You're going to want to close in whatever timeline they want. If they want a free rent back for a month or two, probably going to want to do that. You're not going to want to have, most likely, a financing contingency or any kind of appraisal contingency. No inspection contingency. In Washington, we have a seller disclosure form. You're going to want to just waive any right to back out. Essentially, you don't want to have any contingencies. So an offer that's compelling on price is going to be well above the asking price, and an offer compelling on terms isn't going to have contingencies. Essentially, you're writing an offer that's extremely favorable to the seller and puts you as the buyer in the seat of risk and assuming that risk. Ultimately, a lot of this is a very similar strategies to when you're making an offer and you're competing with other buyers, but you're doing it ahead of time and you're hoping that instead of comparing you with everybody else, the seller is going to take your offer. Now, as a buyer, there is some risk to this inherently. If you make an offer like this, well over the asking price, really good terms, and you get the house, you have no clue if anybody else was going to do that. And you have no clue if maybe your offer you would have actually got the house for less money. So my caution is, know that you really want this house, because you are going to be putting all your chips on the table. You're going to be making your highest and best offer right out of the gate. No escalation clauses, no other offers to compare to. It's just going to be yours. Now, I've had clients do this, and generally speaking, it's a house they really want, and we go to the seller and we say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we've got a great offer for you. The price is compelling, the terms are compelling, and they sometimes take it. Sometimes they say, yeah, we'll still wait. So it's still like a little bit of a gamble. You can always come back and bring your offer at that offer review date. But generally speaking, you're still making a gamble if they're even going to take it, but you are really gambling that there's going to be potentially other offers that would have pushed you to that point in the first place. Now, I've had sellers take these offers as well, right? So buyers that have had these offers accepted, sellers that go ahead and say, yeah, I'll take those offers. If your offer is compelling and the seller wants to be done with the process, go for it. So if you're working with an agent already, you'll want that agent to feel that process out. Is the seller even really going to be open to this? And if they are potentially open to it or hint at it, do it. Do it. But just know that you are making a really strong and favorable offer to the seller without any competition. So the two things to remember: compelling price and compelling terms. Those are the things that will help you potentially get your foot in the door prior to an offer review date, or avoid a bidding war altogether. Hope this was helpful. If you have comments or questions, I'd love to see those down in the comments below. And again, I really appreciate your attention, and I will bring you another one of these videos here soon. Bye for now.